Yeah, starting off on the title screen here, just that way you can see those icons over there. They represent a seed. It's not like they're not just there for fun, I swear. Oh yes, I did put randomized music, non-battle music, because that's not randomizable. But I digress. We are doing a Lost Keys rando here. I believe that everything we need is over in this direction. You know, again, I forget things a little bit. Alright, what did he give us? He gave us a Fire 2 amulet, apparently. Alright. Mint leaves, that's much better than what you usually get here. Now watch me forget where all the other chests are. Because I don't have a good memory at all. Okay, yeah, it's not this way. Not the direction that I'm looking for. Oh yeah, I do have a list of like how many chests are in each location. Because there's a set of those in the back of the manual for for Marrow, pardon me. I was like, what the hell? What's the word that I'm looking for here? Oh right, remember the name of the software. Doofus. I'm going to assume the effigy is going to be, Oh, okay, so it's extinction, apparently. I guess there's one more chest in the Melroad area. But, you know, ask if I can remember where it is. No, that was just the texture of the open chest and also the baskets of fruit over there. I was like, that it? And the answer is not the it that I'm looking for here, that's for sure. Ah, good. This is only slightly foreboding. We're just gonna start going around the disc a little bit here and see what we get. Magma sparks. Alright, so that sounds like it's probably something good that is stuck there. Whereas Windy Blades just sounds like it could just be Wind Cutter, for all I know. And Water Shafts, well, maybe Homing Arrow? Because arrow shafts, I don't know. Our rock one says Curing Toss. That is not a heal spell, I don't think. I think Curing in that case is Invalidity. Which is the name of the spell that removes status effects from you. Which is perhaps slightly odd, but... Excuse me. Nothing there. Check every building. I don't remember where this chest is. weird. That small and rather goofy child looks a little bit like, I'm thinking of like one of the Spyro the Dragon games on the PS1. Specifically the PS1 versions, not the Reignited trilogy, where they, like, everything looks a little bit less low polygon. It's a little bit unfortunate, because I liked that look a little bit. But perhaps that's also because I am an old person who remembers when this game was new. Well, okay, I remember being alive at the time. I don't remember a lot of that period of time. I also actively try to forget a lot of things, so, like, there's probably that as well to be apprised of. But yeah, no plot items for us. But we got all the chests here, so that's good. Ah, fairly normal overworld music. Just not for this part of the overworld. Oh, our battle music apparently is randomized. Alright. Oh, that looks like their steam... Ouchies! That's a pretty good spell, I gotta say. Okay, yeah, so that's probably just invalidity, I think. Yeah, so I'm definitely starting things off with two spells that just fling a bunch of shots at people. That's cool. And by that, I mean, good night. I am getting beat up, like, a lot. Whoop! That was sitting on that camera angle for a minute, so dodging that was a little bit on the rougher side, but yeah, we're far enough away that those spread enough to make it quite easy to not get hit by any of those. Which is great. Oh, I didn't even look at what my new fire spell was. But so, we got an item. Let's use one of those. Burning slow. Okay, so yeah, thanks, game. Alright, we got Bumber shit and para something. Parasocial. Okay, so that's a self-targeted move. Still doesn't really tell me exactly what it is, but okay. Now, this thing shouldn't come closer to us to try to hit us with whatever its equivalent of hot steam is, unless we walk up to it. Which, I mean, we could do that just to see what the move is, but I don't know. Oh, shit. I actually have multiple levels. Okay, so we're going to go around the dial and pick up our level 4 spell for each of these. Just to at least get things started. Okay, so what's this do? Spark Slicer. That's... I'm gonna guess that's Fireball level 1. I'm kind of curious how possible it would be to fully randomize all the spells that the monsters use. Like, to get them to just do basically completely random things. Because that, I didn't see an option in Marrow, and I didn't do it, so... I mean, obviously, there's probably a few you don't want them doing, like, you don't want them to use Escape for whatever reason, you know, for... Possibly for programming reasons, and just also so that way they don't just say, I'm the fuck out of here. And also, Extinction would probably be bad. You know, just a little. Ah, God, if everything's gonna actually be trying to close in on me for Fireball level 1, that could be a little bit rough, because... Yeah, that's a very... much a spell that is very strong at melee compared to everything else. Alright, this guy does not have the shafting that we have, so we probably are potentially going to be safe to walk up to this thing. I'll take the risk. I mean, we have sick as hell DPS, and whatever that did, it seemed to just land a Soul Search effect on us, and that's it. Okay, it said Ocean Silence, so I guess it's a silence effect. Don't particularly like that, but okay. That work on you? No, so... It landed a hit, but it doesn't seem to actually cause silence, despite the description. So whatever it's doing is possibly not that. Well, I've gotten to 3 of those amulets. I should probably at least show them. Oh yeah, that actually deals damage. I know you're probably thinking, well, what the fuck did you expect it to do? And that's a good question, Mega Man. I'm not completely sure what I expected it to do, to be honest with you. But I don't think I expected it to work quite so well. Oh, right, that's the wrong way, isn't it? That goes to... No, that goes to... It's the correct way. Well, if it is, it seems to not actually work properly on either of us. Because it's not registering a miss on instances like that, and it's literally doing nothing. Which I think is very funny. Do I have a paste bin of the spoiler? I do not, but I could probably go make one in a minute or so. Or upload it somewhere. I could probably literally just, like, upload it on my NeoCities and be like, well, yeah, note to self, delete this after the stream, because it won't matter after that. Hey, that's an actual bread. Excellent. And there's our wings. Yeah, give me just a second to, I guess, save here, and then I will throw that somewhere. Ah, yes, good old laggy save screen. Okay, well, I've opened that enough only to see the flags there, so... I saw words, but I didn't see what they were. Verifying I'm human. What a load of bullshit. Anyway, I have no idea what any of that said, so... Yeah, don't tell me anything that's in the log. Unless you wish to inform me that it's big and heavy in wood. And that it's better than bad, it's good. Actually, I'm not sure if Ren and Stimpy references anymore are, like, a thing we should be even thinking about doing. Not in this day and age. Listen, I know what a piece of shit John K. was. Unfortunately, there's just some things that are, like, embedded into your brain from things in your childhood that maybe were not necessarily the greatest choice for a child to be exposed to, but, like, you know, it was the 90s. People were... I'd say people were dumb back then, or people didn't know back then, but people are dumb now and they still don't know, so... It being the 90s doesn't change a whole lot. Things are more or less equally as bad as each other at every period in history or something. Anyway, I apologize. I'm being very stupid right now. Here we go. Here's 3 of the 6 chests that are in the area. Dagged his boots. Oh, it says it's avalanche. That seems pretty nice. A second yellow wings. Thank you, game. And some more boots. Well, alright then. Also, I can't place this tune offhand. Is this from the end credits or something? And I've simply forgotten. Yeah, I'm also sitting here trying to be like, is this a rearrange of an existing tune? It sounds like it could be as well, but I am left completely clueless here. Dragon's Potion, another effigy. Dragon's Potion is pretty nice, but we're not going to use that for a while. And what you know, another effigy. This is the castle of lots of copies of the same item. Yeah, go ahead and tell me what the deal was with that spell, which was at water level 4. Standing in for Water Pillar 2. It's Silence level 2. That... Interesting that it doesn't do anything, then. And meanwhile, these guys are just completely free. It's possible. Oh, see, that time it silenced a dude. So, maybe there is some jank if it only has one target. Let's try now. Oh, it missed. Well, that's helpful. Yeah, that time it gave no miss flag, didn't make a miss sound, but it did nothing. So yes, I think it is just a little bit crapped up if it only has one target. I may need to test it more, but also just importantly, hey, that's more MP experience, right? Oh, hey, there's our healing spell already. Excellent. We might be going into Rock for this, but Rock is also like, hey, do you not like having damage? At least so far. Yeah, I'm not completely sure what the deal is. Yeah, we got some frogman here. And he just uses his big hurl there. Oh, right. This guy's melee spell is Tornado, so we'll be able to find out what... Ooh! Ooh, that did not look good. I think that's Fire Pillar. It's just that the visual effect is so gigantic, and the color is frankly fucking awful. So I can't see what's going on there. Could be something else for all I know. Oh yeah, why am I doing that? That's a waste of my energy. Well, it doesn't seem to like to hit me very much, so... Huh. That's still a gamble I'm quite willing to take, actually. Yep. Oh god, turning up the MP recovery rate all the way to 3 times, or rather, doing it backwards because this version of Miro is a little bit glitched with that for some reason. But at least it tells you how to mitigate it on the itch.io page. So that rate of MP recovery is kind of incredibly silly. Basically, that might actually be too much. Because at that point, that's like, oh, it's completely free now. Oh, what's that? You ran out of mana? Just take one more step. Almost literally. Aw, dang it. So I think Tornado is some sort of status move as well. But I'm not sure which one. That's a possibility. I would not know for sure because my knowledge of any of the inner workings of this game is not very much. Even though I would love to, like, do some stuff with it. But also that kind of requires me to join Discord servers, and ew. I don't like doing that. Not a very social person. Ah, yes, I'm glad that the bats are, like, the exact same threat level regardless of your range. Okay, that appears to be restriction. Gotcha. Alright. Duly noted. That means that I really don't care about it. How very helpful. Yeah, I suppose so, especially if it, possibly, especially if it's a multi-target move? Check the spoiler and see if Tornado was turned into Restriction Level 2 or not. Or if it's just Level 1. But this also means that I can get into... It was turned into Level 2. Okay. Gotcha. So, it sounds like it's starting to bear out a little bit of a theory here of multi-target moves having multiple checks or something. Rolling Thirst. There's some sort of weird gag here, but I don't know what it is offhand. I wonder if it's going to be another buff, and if I'm just raising my buff spell levels here. Okay, yeah, that's Windward Forest theme. Oh, hello, you! As I have no earth damage, probably. Yeah, that's just Vampire's Touch. Anyway, hello, boss that I can make inappropriate gags now because... Oh, she's Earth Elemental, apparently. Well, I was gonna say just melee her with my huge stick. Or the steam orbs. Which is a slightly more polite way of saying balls, but I digress. Anyway, bad jokes aside, melee is usually a pretty good strategy, right? It's clobbering time. Unfortunately, my time of clobbering has run a little bit low. I have no idea how much damage I've dealt here because I haven't been paying attention. But it was a good amount, so yeah. Well, that's Shilf defeated, so... Do the elements, like, not change relative to the boss's position in the rotation? She just gave me a mint leaves, right? Kind of makes a little... It seems a little bit, like, not weird for her, but... Whatever. Well, I'd have to pull up my list of settings again to be sure about that. But I thought that might have been a... Maybe it's a thing I didn't set, because... I'm forgetful. Anyway, I think there's really only one item check left here, which is... the end of the area. The end of Connor Forest. incredible. Well, actually, it's quite helpful. It's quite helpful to me for these bats to just, like, jump right into my face. Oh, buddy, that ain't it, Chief. I don't think this thing can heal. We can invert. So, taking a guess if that's confusion. Which, because I massively overtuned the amount of defense we get back, or defense, magic we get back from anything. Yeah, that produces a blue ring around me. That's definitely confusion, all right. So far, Earth is really turning into just like, hey, do you like buffs? Because we've got heal, we've got vampire's touch, we've got... Unless this is a damage spell. Oh, right, okay, so that is a damage spell. That, I think, is probably like Fireball level 2. Judging by the description of an item that we saw earlier. So we do have a source of earth damage. It exists. It does exist. I do exist. Oh. Continues making this one joke because that commercial has literally been playing my entire life. It's kind of bizarre when you think about it. Very inconsistent on how many balls it shoots, apparently, so... Let's see what this thing is. Ah, it's Fireball level 3 then, apparently. Yeah, that's definitely something, alright. Like, wow. Alright, so I want to take a look at a couple of things. First of all, yeah, that definitely just looks completely different. That's interesting. Second of all, let's take a look at these boots. I don't think that does anything, but it looks really funny. Because, like, oh, it makes the screen shake a little bit. The screen darkens, and it's just the buff sound, like, a million times. Oh, what I attempted to cast there was I was using one of my sets of Dagda's boots, and it says summons a cascade of stones around you. So I believe it's attempting to do Avalanche, which is kind of not working for that. So like I said, a deeply hilarious thing. I don't think I've ever run this randomizer and had a good result for Avalanche, like, ever, to be fair. Something like that. And yeah, there's our Earth Orb. It had to be there, really, because we did every other check. See, I don't think that gives us anything special, but... Ah, yes, just a nice, very plain horizontal rock. There's something really funny about that, actually. Still not sure what that is. Find out eventually, I'm sure. Press the button enough. That might be the more damaging move, I think. Just keep doing this. So before I go deal with the place that's painful, I am going to go all the way down the path and save. Because I'm sure that it will be about what I would expect during a randomizer. Which is to say, kind of a pain in the ass. Yeah, that doesn't do so much damage, but it's fine. I think technically it's probably around the same amount of damage as the wind spell was doing. Oh, of course we missed one of them. Wow. Well, so much for ending the fight immediately, but whatever. It's fine. We fixed it pretty soon afterwards. What was the bell again? Evokes a pillar of erupting lava. Okay. Right, so it's fire pillar, but probably with different graphics. Oh, that looks familiar, I think. Oh, these guys are fire. This doesn't do much damage because of obvious reasons, but yeah. Ah, okay, so it's the restrict graphics, but it's fire pillar instead. That's fun. That's amusing. Yeah, these guys are pretty meaty compared to... God, that's that's an issue. It does 23 damage per spell. Okay. That's a lot. I was not paying attention to that. Anyway, we did beat the Earth boss, so we can go in here, right? I mean, I guess so, but also I'm thinking that it's probably copying Large Cutter. So that would give it some very large damage. And hey, there's another boots that... Nothing. The amulet is a usable source of damage. I guess, if I'm, like, really out of MP. The honey bread is actually nice. Oop. One second here. Just repositioning slightly. Oh yeah, we have different overworld themes in different locations, so that's neat. It's not like the OOT rando where it's just like, hey, you randomize the music? Well, every instance of it is changed to the same other track. Slicing Crush, what do you got for me? I mean, obviously that's base magnet rock, but I don't know what the rest of it is, so... Ooh, I don't really have a lot of the AoE that I would want at this point, do I? Oh, shit, and things that rhyme with it. Hey, our physical damage is enough we can just kill those bats in one hit. That's helpful. Nope, not doing enough buttons. Whoops. Better positioning will get us a long way there. Our max MP is coming along nicely, I think, though, at least. Probably because of all the hits that we land with that spell, like, whoa. Ah, one of these Chuckle Fucks. But at bare minimum, we have a damaging move for them, and their one spell is not, like, terrifyingly strong. So for once, the Apophis isn't actually a bad enemy to fight. Pity about the drops, but you know. Yeah, I mean, that sounds about right. Well, I mean, still, I'll take it. Okay, so there's a bit more AoE on our Magnet Rock spell this time. Well, Magnet Rock stand-in, really. But, yeah. So, as long as we just target these dudes to start with. Okay, it appears to be linear in some way. Maybe it is actually a large cutter instead. Then what is the homing arrow? Because that absolutely looks like it could be large cutter. A little high risk, but we'll be fine, I think, because this thing's HP should be... Fucking hell. Yeah, that's... Quest 64, everybody. Just... Oh, yeah. You lost the coin flip. Good job. I just wanted the 1 point of health game. Come on. Oh, I guess we unlocked our next level of spirit armor, because I just saw that in there. So yeah, there's our level 3 fireball. Which, you know, pretty good spell, especially being on an element that actually has some levels in it. Yeah, I mean, actually playing through a Windfire challenge means that I do feel like I know a little bit more about some of the spells that are good. But also, always the thing that's gonna be the case is, wow, they really need to, like, calibrate where some of that shit is. Because, ooh boy. Oh dear. It is kind of fun to play a run like that, though, just for how much more aggressive it is. I mean, and in general, having an interesting challenge for this game is kind of neat. Yeah, good melee damage built up for us so far. Yeah, let's max that out, because it's not like this is expensive or anything. Yeah, I saw that. I am not 100% sure what I'm going to do with that. I've got like 30 bucks in my Steam wallet. So there's a pretty good chance I'll get something. I just don't know what yet. Oh yeah, I should look at how much that is. That could be fun. I'm kind of surprised that that's like still for sale, you know? At least on Steam. Because I would absolutely expect that you would have at least somebody look at, oh, here's an emulator for sale. And yes, I do get it. The guys who develop that stuff deserve money. Everybody needs to eat in that, but you know, I absolutely would just 100% expect there to be someone who would like be very angry about it, but I suppose maybe Nintendo has not specifically noticed, and you gotta wait around for somebody to just get like stupidly butthurt about it for no good reason to like report it to the Steam authorities. Oh, boo. That seems pretty low, and by pretty low, I mean like a pretty low sale rate. A low percentage of price reduction compared to what I feel like I remember hearing about it before. So that's odd, actually. Anyway, yeah, I'm sure that 3D Sen is also like doing a lot of work on its own, especially. You know, it's not like Dolphin, where they tried to go on Steam and then immediately got nailed for, like, using stolen materials, basically. Not that it made me stop using Dolphin by any circumstances, because I don't fucking care about that. But it's also like, why would you do that to yourself? It wasn't exactly the... It was not exactly the strategic play. That's... You know, I think chess would chess notation would have to invent a new level of blunder to mark next to that one, you know? The rarely seen quadruple exclamation point. Why did only 2 of those... Ah, these goblins are real sons of bitches. They are doing grotesque amounts of damage to me. I mean, hey, at least I get the recovery and the keep my experience, but also, like... Just come on. I'm at 15 and 15 defense and agility. I should at least be able to hit them. Like... That feels okay for this part of the game, although I don't remember what my numbers were like in the challenge, so perhaps by comparison this still is like can't hit the broadside of a barn kind of numbers, but... Neat. Now time to try this again and hopefully not get punked by the RNG whenever a goblin shows up. I could, but I don't want to. And of course, very kind of the game to give me a group of, like, 20 of these fuckers. I was gonna say, did I somehow miss with all of those? That would be my exact luck, would be to just miss with literally all of those. I'm not completely sure what's causing it to be so much of a pain in the ass to dodge, but it's something, alright. Brian, do you remember how to hit anything? Like, just out of curiosity here. There we go, we finally broke through them. And how far down the map are we? Not very. Oh, here we go. Here's something that's much easier for us to deal with. The ice knife that I don't know what the hell it does. And a mad doll who is basically useless. Unfortunately, I'm kind of not much better, judging by that aim. Ugh. It's pretty bad. And that'll be when we get Stone Burial, huh? Well, that's some good Avalanche game. I think just like from the perspective of grammar and or the meanings of words, an avalanche technically must consist of more than one object. Now, you know, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, because it's very possible, nay, quite likely that I'm wrong. But also, yeah, that kind of makes that whole thing very funny, is what I'm getting at here. It's alright, I love to see what bad spells I get. when Avalanche shows up. It's actually kind of funny. Yeah, the enemies who use Avalanche, which we didn't see any of those during the fire challenge, oddly enough. And you best believe I'm fucking happy for that, but at bare minimum, I'm pretty sure they're both actually not super powerful. Defensively anyway. Obviously, the spell is still fucking Avalanche, but like... Oh, I only hit the one. Dang, I was actually using that for an attempt to hit multiple enemies. Yeah, Wolf Goat is just kind of like the glass cannon of the area. Well, that's not even necessarily correct, because I think it has the most HP out of the area. It's just that 95 is not a lot. It's definitely a lot glassier than a Cockatrice is, which has 140 HP. Which, for appearing far earlier than the Wolf Goat, is kind of cruel. The main thing that's they're undoing is that both of them are Earth type, so they kind of get wrecked by the fact that at that point you have a really strong Wind Cutter in challenge mode. If you're doing it in regular, you're probably going to have a less good time. But I'm saying I could probably have taken those dudes. I don't think I would have known that at the time, but... Oh, piss off. I'm actually running from this fight because I got the 1-inch encounter there. Right, yeah, Ghost Town has 99 HP. That's right. It's just nowhere near as scary. So I probably forgot about it. Anyway, we finally got to the bottom of Dondoran Flats, so we can save. We can recover. And now, guess what? We get to go the other way. Because I'm contractually obligated to check the Wind Jade could be there. Now we got some frogmans here. Pfft. Good. Large Cutter is just a Wind Cutter level 1. That, I think, is really funny. Like, no notes on that. I didn't press the button enough times, but it still worked out all right. Ah, good aim there, me. Oops. Flute do anything interesting? I forget. Oh, it's just a debuff spell. Gotcha. That's alright. Oh wait, no, I don't have to use healing items on the overworld. So far, the amount of times I have to use them in battle is pretty low, too. Except against those goblins, I probably should be doing that. It's a log bridge, there we go. You know what, game? I didn't get to show off the angry chicken before, so... I feel like spawning one of those in. That might be fun. And you go, ah, crap. I don't have great damage for this thing. It'll show me one of these instead, though, which I can do some pretty good work against. Oh, hey, the music didn't change. That's fun. Having it be the Blue Cave theme also is very funny on the part of the randomizer, considering where we are. And the fact that it has a connection to that area. Let's buff up and try to recover some HP here. Because we're in melee mode for these guys. That's fine. Hey, look, we're actually fighting enemies in Glencoe Forest this time as opposed to just running away from basically all of them. That's kind of weird. I'm not used to that at all. Okay, so there's 6 spirits here, so I'm going to try to keep count. That we're at 1 out of 6. Oh, that fell apart pretty fast. Well, that's unfortunate. Re-up it. Nice job with the melee, idiot. Wow. All right, Brian. Never mind. I'm the one who's the idiot and is doing a nice job at the melee. By nice job, I mean failing fucking entirely. Eesh. That's dumb. I'm not in a position to do this, so I'm leaving this fight now. Ugh. Gross. Number 2. Ah, I see. They are defensing up. I don't think they can damage us, period, then. Like, it's not going to be a quick fight, obviously, but still. Yeah, they don't have a melee attack. Usually they use Fire Pillar for that. Which David Cage game is it, though, is the question, because there are... Somehow somebody allowed him to make more than one game. Also, hi. Also, I already own Omicron, you... I was gonna say, do I own Fahrenheit also? Or Indigo Prophecy, as they called it in US? I'm pretty sure I own Heavy Rain, but maybe that's just on PS3. Because, yes, I bought a copy of Heavy Rain eons ago for PS3. I bought it at a GameStop, which I remember because I think I hate GameStop quite a bit, and that's why. Is it Detroit? I feel like I would say that maybe don't, even for a joke, purchase Beyond Two Souls. Just because, like... Listen, Beyond Two Souls is a game that... There is some genuine, like, scumbagness there. It's not just like, oh, David Cage, har har har, very funny. The worst game developer ever. No, remember, David Cage took a lot of very unauthorized nude pictures of Elliot Page. Pre-transition, just to emphasize what kind of a pervert David Cage is for anybody who's like... For anybody who's curious. For anybody who somehow does not know Mr. Cage's oeuvre and was having that sort of crisis of like, oh god, am I gonna have to denounce another queer creator for being just a bad human being on a human level? Is French. I mean... He is French, but... Like, I don't think everybody who's French is, like, a sex pervert, right? Or at least not a sex criminal. just because we have David Cage and Ubisoft doesn't mean that everyone... It's just very, very disheartening. I genuinely hope the Claire Obscura guys are, like, not shitheads. Oh, beyond $2? After tax, it sure is. You know, so that way you can pay for all those Predator drones that are going to be used to do an unlawful attack that will actually not do anything. Remember when digital purchases didn't have tax on them? And then the federal government started getting all whiny, you know? Listen, at least if it was the state government, I could pretend to respect them. Some of them, anyway, you know. Not every state is necessarily good. But, listen. If J.B. Pritzker wants that money, I mean, that's comparatively acceptable, but I digress. Wow, another one of those bells we don't actually need. Ah, yes, I'm glad the music changes in here. That's funny. We've still only got 2 out of the 6 spirits in this location, but we did check the item, and that's arguably the more important part, is that we know that it is not the thing that we need to move on. Cool. Taff, I feel like you could... Oh, hey. Brysolf sending me a raid of 14 viewers. That's a lot of folks who are watching some hockey. How'd the rest of the hockey go? I caught a little bit of the New York Rangers doing some... You guys were playing the New York Rangers, so... Yeah, I caught a little bit of fun times being had there. It was certainly not the Buffalo Sabres. You got to buy in the finals. Ooh. That's... Although buy in the finals is pretty incredible. All right, well, you get some rest, buddy. You've probably got to do your you've got to go work at a grocery store tomorrow, which is always a great time, I'm sure. Working in any retail position. Listen, I'll tell you what I basically am always trying to beam into your brain. And that is, do not try to stab any of your customers. You may be tempted, but don't do that, because that's a good way to go to jail. And we don't want that. We don't want you to go to jail, Brian. When you worked at one, i.e. a grocery store, you always came back smelling like banana bread, regardless of what shift you were working in, yet never once handled banana bread. That's... Huh. Did your store, like, just specialize in banana bread? The banana bread store, you know. a concept that a totally normal, insane economy would absolutely come up with. You don't even think it sells it. That's spectacular. Yes, because to be fair, banana bread is a powerful motivator. Of what, I'm not sure, but we'll figure it out eventually. Or forget. Oh, it says drain wasting. I thought that said brain wasting for a second. I was about to be like, wait. Alright, so that's spirit number 4 out of 6 in this location. Oh, that tried to do something. I didn't see what it was, but it tried to do something. Alright, so what's brain wasting do? It healed him. Huh. I don't know what to say to that. Oh, we'll take a look. I couldn't see that very well because the camera was doing the helpful thing. Yeah, just... Oh, is my MP going back up for that? Huh, well that's weird. Honestly, if I was ever in a position where I needed to do that, I could probably just cast Confusion. Oh, okay. So I'm not actually healing him, I'm stealing his mana. I completely forgot Drain Magic was even a spell, so, like... Yeah. Excuse me for being a bit of a dullard there. Whoops. Yeah, that color is either the healing color or it's a little too close to the healing color. So maybe that should be slightly different. Healing up. Jack, we are playing one of the very few RPGs on the N64. And by that I mean we're playing a randomizer of it. It's a bit of an oddball even before we get into the randomizer. Yeah, a lot of strange choices involved there, huh? Even once you get over the part where it was rushed all to hell, which is kind of the infamous part of that. We're currently in the middle of a place that usually I spend as little time in as possible, but this time, thanks to the randomizer, I actually have some halfway decent spells, and they also have very goofy visual effects that... because those got swapped around for reasons that I don't completely know everything under the hood, so don't ask me to explain too much about that. Get something new, or is it 35? I think it's a 35. Yeah. It's one that's been around for a bit, but I wouldn't be completely surprised if, you know, if most folks didn't know much about a randomizer for this existing, because, well, let's be quite honest about where this game's reputation sits at this particular juncture. You know, I'm sure that there's a lot of people who are like, oh, well, that's a completely stupid thing to... Yes, and a large part of that reputation is like, oh, this game's not very good. Like, there's a lot of people who are very, very negative about it because it is lacking a lot of things that are kind of the norm for RPGs. It has a very thin plot. It had to rush itself to market in order to beat out Ocarina of Time because that's where the competition was basically just thought to be because, hey, video game press, you know. But yeah, it's a game with a very cool idea behind it. I like it a fair bit, even when the game is balanced like absolute dog. Anyway, I don't remember where these last two spirits are. I'll be fine. I'm gaining a lot of levels, and because I'm using the settings in the randomizer to turn some of that stuff up a little bit, I'm pretty sure I'll be even more okay. I still don't know what that spell does, because it hasn't hit me even once. Oh, is this... This might be an area that I haven't explored yet, and this might be where I'm looking for my last couple of doodads. The spell that the Dark Goblin is using, which I believe is base evade level 1. Considering enemies don't use certain amounts of spells, it could be one that is actually they'd never used before or ever, so that might be it. It's got like a long wind up before the beam appears, so this there's this part of my brain that's like, oh shit, is that extinction or something? I do have an item that says that it casts extinction. So there is that slightly concerning part about it. Yeah, I mean, I could just level to it. You know, where's our item that does that? Oh, right, it's the effigy. Okay, no, so that has fairly regular looking particles for it. That is not extinction. Oh, right, we've seen that before. I just wanted to test that out because I was like, hey, as long as I'm chucking around items that are all mixed up here, is that going to try to do that defense boost spell? But no, I had that backwards. Excuse me. Is this on Archipelago? Unfortunately, it is not, but I would certainly consider it if it was. I mean, even with how much I just, like, constantly get completely owned by some of these monsters, but this area was shockingly easy. Kind of wonder if, like, anyone could get in contact with the dev of this and possibly the Archipelago team and be like, hey, can you guys work something out here? 'Cause that'd be interesting. Oh, hell, they show up in groups. Ah, yes, here we go. Here's our... Well, he did something that was Rock Shower, but I couldn't see. Yeah, I mean, that's entirely fair. Right, we know that Avalanche is just throw a single rock, which completely misses us. Rock Shower is also missing us, but the particles look the same. Particles, I say. You know, a little bit laughingly there, because it's not true particles. But, whatever. I can't imagine many people being very upset about that. Yeah, that's kind of true, is that it would be a bit of a bumpy road. There'd have to be some work involved, some heavy lifting, but it just sort of ends up as one of those, well, I think it'd be neat if we could ever get there kind of things. Until then, I guess next time there's an Archipelago that goes up, Jack and everyone else who'd be involved in that group, that still not yet official Metroid Prime Archipelago add-on seems to be pretty good. So there's a pretty good chance that that's what I would be aiming to do. Prime 2 is the GOAT. I've never finished Prime 2, to be honest with you. I'm just so much more familiar with regular Prime that, well, yeah. Quietly hoping, speaking of which, that because we did get a Prime 1 remaster not long ago in the greater scope of video game history, I do kind of hope that maybe there's a possibility that Retro is going to work on a Prime 2 remaster at some point. Just because, you know, availability would be nice, right? Not for me, I have a copy already. Don't misunderstand, and I don't have, like, any sort of compunction about, hey, if I didn't have a copy, you know, emulating it. But, Prime 2 remasters, shut up and take my money from me. Yeah, that's entirely fair. But yeah, I think for a lot of people that would probably be a nice thing in general. I do think on some level that Prime 1 Remaster probably affected the overall size of the audience for Metroid Prime 1, just by virtue of, like, people probably would have been more interested in the remaster than in the original, you know, newcomers anyway. And just in general, I had fun with it too, so, like, if it sounds like I'm mocking, don't worry, it's not supposed to. Unfortunately, I have a habit of having things sound like that anyway. But yeah, Fusion is great. I love me some Metroid Fusion. I do enjoy a little bit of that. Get that save screen lag because emulator. Oh well. It happens. It's that, or I go look up an N64 flash cart and probably be like, ooh, that's a little bit outside my price range. Dread is one that I need to give another shot because I made the foolish mistake of playing that before I had, like, proper separate controller for the Switch. So at the time, I was controlling that using the Joy-Cons in the little Joy-Con holder, and that did not feel great. But I bet with a proper controller, which I have another controller now. It's not necessarily the best one or anything, but it's a regular wired controller. Probably will feel a little better. I'll find out when I get there. Is the point. Controlled better than Super? Yeah, it's Super Metroid definitely feels its age nowadays. To put it succinctly. I did not actually see that, no. Yeah, Metroid Dread, a big part about the controls that I can say very positively about Metroid Dread is that they did simplify the wall jump a little bit. And some people, I'm sure there's some people that are, like, just sweaty enough that would get very angry at me saying, oh yeah, that's a benefit, but wall jumping in Super Metroid feels a little bit like butt. So I played a Super Metroid improvement hack recently that I think was called Super Metroid Redux, where they basically redid the controls to be like Metroid Fusion, and a couple other things were done there as well. It improved things more than a little. Unfortunately, they didn't update the wall jump, but I think Fusion used basically the old Super Metroid inputs for wall jump, so that's perhaps to be expected. And yeah, I'm not sure where that's supposed to be hitting. Just looking at that, I think that's landing on top of me, basically. Oh, that's good. I think I've tried a couple of Super Metroid randos, and I do remember at least one of them giving the Metroid Fusion respin effect. So I can say that much about it. Speedrunners are prudes, basically. I mean, and a lot of that stuff really does come down to most of the target audience is speedrunners, right? I'm one of the very few, I would say, proportionally people where I'm not really a speedrunner, but I definitely will mess around with these things. Because I enjoy them. Yeah, I mean, it's like, do whatever you want, and as long as you guys agree on a rule set beforehand for any sort of competitive thing. Oh, these guys are wind type, not fire type. I'm a fool. Overall, I do like a lot of the level design and stuff of Super Metroid. Controls are a little bit of a bumpy ride. There's... When you say shitty boss fights also, it's like... Yeah, a couple of them are a little bit crusty, a little bit tedious, I'd say is a big thing. I mean, how much of Phantoon is just sitting there waiting around to go like, oh yeah, I better not press Super Missile. Yeah, true. Like, Dragon disappears for a good chunk of the fight. I do like Dragon on a concept level, at least, for very specifically the part of use the grapple beam on those electric things and just horribly murder it. That's fun. That's a pretty cool alternate strategy. Anyway, I'm trying to actually go to that town to the north here for a second, so... Yeah, but there's definitely a fair chunk of it where Dragon is not on the screen. Spore Spawn is a lot of waiting around. I mean, Spore Spawn kind of gets away with it a little bit for being that early, I guess, but like... Botwoon is not on the screen for a long time, which is kind of frustrating, to say the least. In fact, I think I kind of just felt like Botwoon was really not a well-designed boss fight in general. Just like, this one's a bit of a snoozer. Ridley is not terrible. I'm not gonna say it's my favorite or anything, but, like... I've seen worse than Ridley. In fact, I've probably discussed worse already. In fact, I know I have. So... Aside from that issue... My, like, two brain cells are working real hard to piece together what I was gonna say. Oh, right, the thing that I was gonna say about Ridley is that while I think Ridley is an okay fight, you know, could be worse, a thing that I find a bit of a... that I'm gonna be grumpy about is that Golden Chorizo. Not necessarily because it's a bad fight, I mean... Golden Chorizo is fine as a fight in as much as it's like, well, it's kind of dumb, but it's not as bad as some of them. It's not off screen for half the fight or anything. It is just like, but it's just a Golden Chorizo. Like, okay, you're giving me literally a fight that already exists. I forgot about Crocomire. Crocomire is, well, it's always tough to say anything because there's worse than Crocomire for sure. Oh yeah, definitely. Crocomire is Super Metroid's best boss. I can see it. It's got a pretty good, like, way of operating that makes it a fairly interesting thing to do. You know, again, I'll take that. I'll take that over Phantoon like most of the week. And by most of the week, I mean all of the week, actually. Yeah, so with Phantoon, I got a question. Is the super missile thing dumb, or is that like good design, do you guys think? Because truth be told, it's like, okay, I'm all right with this once. But yeah, see, just an important thing that I think folks need to consider, just everyone on the internet basically, is that just because something is good or even your favorite doesn't mean that you can't say that it has flaws or, you know, be like, yeah, there's things that could be better. The super missile thing is when you shoot Phantoon with a super missile, he gets incredibly pissed off at you and starts shooting like big waves of fireballs that you can shoot through, but you can't damage him during that phase. Yeah, he just starts being a real asshole. And then we suddenly all find out why Phantoon never gets invited to any parties anymore. Yeah, because I think that's like the only... Well, it's one of two things that punishes you for super missiles. But the other one is Golden Terizo, and by that point, you do have Plasma Beam, so like Charged Plasma is your best source of DPS at that point, I think. So that's a case where you would probably prefer to use those anyway. Especially because it's honestly not like you get huge fire rate with your super missiles. It's not like Metroid Fusion where your missile fire rate is like crazy as fuck. But yeah, it's just really the fact that those are the only two instances of a thing that punishes you for using your super missiles. Yeah, it's definitely it's real funny that throwing on the randomized music was just something I was like, you know what? I want to see what happens with this. Randomizing music for like any randomizer does tend to end up with results like this. I used to do it a not small amount in OOT randos until I ended up constantly just being in towns that I was in for a very long time, where you would have the Escape from Ganon's Castle music. Just, it would always happen, and it was like, okay, this is getting to be very infuriating instead of funny. So that's getting switched off, gang. But in a case like this, at least, like, a lot of the music doesn't really blast your eardrums on that same level, I don't think. So I think it's probably something that I can get away with, especially, you know, it is funny to get the battles with the more peaceful music. And funnily enough, we get the monastery music in this area, which is usually one of the more irritating areas of the game, mostly because the encounters are balanced like not well. That's the important takeaway here, is the balance on the encounters here is not great, because sure, you've got these Skelebats to start with, and they're easy pickings. And then you get the Wyverns in, like, the next room, and they have more than 3 times the HP, and they hit like a truck. Yeah, I would say that the balance on this game, just full stop, is kind of one of its biggest downfalls. I mean, sure, we can be like, it's an RPG and it's got like 2 sentences of lore total and the most generic RPG plot you could ever. I don't think that that's that huge of a stumbling block, and the more that I look at people who play video games, I don't think most people truly care that much. It's just a thing to complain about. Plus, I actually kind of like the fact that there's this very Celtic Scottish sort of theme running through a non-zero amount of the lore. That's neat. I appreciate that on a certain level. It's a slightly more unique thing than just going for like, oh, it's just extremely English British, you know? Oh, that was a lot of rocks that just came out of there. That's neat. I'm not completely confident as to what spell that's doing. Yes, I did take 5 fire as a misclick. Yeah, exactly. Non-zero is definitely underselling it, but also I do sort of do that a lot where it's like, you know, drastically underestimating things is part of my sucking at communication. But yes, I appreciate that. I think it adds a little bit of flavor to proceedings. Unfortunately, it's just like, man, this game balance really needs somebody to go in there and fix it. But, you know, the things that happen to you when you're rushing a game out the door in order to beat something that is, like, almost guaranteed to be perceived as being extremely excellent. Yeah, I've definitely seen worse. I'll say that. For all the infamy of the game breakers in this game, I have for sure played RPGs that were worse off in that department. Also, it's very funny we have the blood gels here using what is effectively the lower level homing arrow spell because of how the spell effects got randomized. So, Fire Pillar has been turned into a defense buff spell, so I can literally just sit in this guy's face. Talking about Skyrim, not this time, but that is definitely a game that is very, very broken quite a lot of the time. How you doing, by the way? Yeah, the big fucking green dragons, they are nasty. That's probably the disproportionate encounter out of this entire game, which is saying a lot. Finally recovering? Well, that's good. But yeah, it really stands out when you've got... Well, first of all, when you've got me pushing my luck that hard. Ooh boy, that was slightly ridiculous. What, am I back to doing the challenge run? See, at bare minimum, if you do die, this game is generous enough that it sends you back to the last save point with all of the experience points that you've gained in all of your stats, and with any items that you've picked up. And of course, with any levels that you've obtained. So, there's that. Hey, we got the plot items. So, technically, because the way this is set up, this is what is referred to in the randomizer. Yes, because, well, there's no money in the game, so it can't penalize you on money. So this randomizer, I'm using what is called in it as the, blah, 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 blah. Wow, word order. What the fuck was that? I'm using a mode with the randomizer called Lost Keys, yes, which is basically just that the plot progression items, which are the boss drops, and one other thing later on, are just hidden in chests somewhere in their respective territory that the bosses are considered to be in charge of. So we got the Wind Jade in here because this is part of the Wind Boss territory. But it's also, I believe, part of the Water territory, so we still have to go pick up all the chests in the area because there's a chance of them being the Water Gem. And we need all 4 of them at some point. Yeah, 30 HP back. These guys can't do 30 to me per turn, so I can heal this off at least. Very slowly, but that's fine. Because, yeah, there's also no crit mechanics in this version of the game. In the Japanese version, which is significantly updated in various ways, I believe there is a critical hit system for that. But part of that is because, interestingly, this game came out in the US first, so they had time to revise it when they released it elsewhere because they were under slightly less pressure to put it out to beat Zelda to market. Yeah, that's right. The Game Boy demake. I have to Oh, it came out like a full year late. I forgot how much later it came out, but yeah, that definitely would have quite the effect then. Of a full year, that's a lot of time to revamp little bits of it. Yeah, we're really playing with fire here. Not exactly so literally, but I digress. It is one of those things where it can vary quite a bit. So, you can see we're doing pretty good damage there. The spell that we're using is doing like 90 damage if all three of the things hit. It's basically just a copy of the fireball spell, but the visual effects are shuffled because the randomizer is a little bit funky in that regard. But yeah, you definitely do like ridiculously high amounts of melee damage. It's also, very specifically, with regard to how the damage is distributed, from what I've been able to understand, is that the melee damage is basically, your melee damage goes up if you have a more balanced build, basically. So if you do like a grossly unbalanced elemental build, if you were to just put, say, everything into water and just go, I need the most audacious healing possible, pretty much, which is kind of what you would get with that, it tends to end up that your magic damage goes up. I'm not sure how it looks at the end if you manage to put everything to 50, which is something I don't think I've ever gotten quite that level of, like, grinding out a run. Because, of course, this game's balance is such that, like, hey, most of the time you're going to choose to build water and earth. So that way you have enough water to heal, and then you shunt the rest into earth so that way you can get avalanche and you just shit rocks on everything. Or if you don't know what you're doing, you'll do something else. But yeah, as a first timer, you'll probably just be like, well, let me raise everything equally because they're all going to be useful, right? Not all in the same run, but perhaps. Is how I would respond to that, because I recently-ish did a more casual run of just building only building only wind and fire, which really does not give you a lot in terms of anything to not die with, because your only healing spell then is Vampire's Touch, which is a fire elemental buff that lets you heal when you hit things with your stick. Which is pretty strong, but it also means you can't heal outside of battle. So, you know, things get a little bit rough, to put it nicely, and also you get it at level 32 fire, and the first boss is an absolute bastard if you didn't build wind as your first attacking element. Mostly because he has one move that hits like an absolute truck and is melee range. And he has a large enough movement space that he can stay on top of you if he starts doing it, basically. So close to him basically is an instant death radius. So that's great. Well, you know, when it's rushed, I don't know how much time you have to test, so... I have no further things I can say on that level. Well, it was rushed all to hell. I don't know how much time that's going to give you to test balance. Probably not a whole lot. So, yeah, as a consequence, it's one of those things where it ends up that a lot of first-time players, or just everyone who decides to play a more balanced build on purpose, will end up with melee damage that is extremely high. Yeah, I think that this is something that is a very good gameplay concept that could be handled pretty well if there was somebody out there who was willing to give it a shot. Unfortunately, turn-based RPGs always feel like a really odd space when it comes to how much they are willing to innovate or not. Obviously, there are quite good games in that space, even outside of that. Like, that Clair Obscura Expedition 33 seems to be quite good, but I do worry that a lot of people will look at that and be like, this seems a little bit similar to things that already exist. Again, this is my estimation. I haven't played Clair Obscura yet. But yeah, I would love to see somebody do something with this. Or, hell, even just give us, like, a more severe balance hack than what exists, because there are some things to, like, tweak some of the game balance, but you still have matters like, oh, you get Avalanche at level 24 Earth. And Magic Barrier at level 36 Earth, so you are still kind of incentivized to do the same play style, ultimately. I know there's at least a crowd of people who are doing some look into stuff under the hood of this game. I don't know the exact progress on any of it, but I believe there's a decompilation that is in the works. And that's kind of cool. That's at least a step in the right direction, right? Just need somebody to do something with it afterwards, but we'll get there. Probably. And yes, I am scaling this Earth element all the way to 50. I think we have all of the spells that are available to us now. So that one, Boiling Entropy, that would be Weaken 2, and that's going to be Hot Steam on some level or another, so that's a close range damage. Close range AoE damage. In fact, I think that this has, like, both of the exit spells, which, yes, 2 exit spells. One that takes you to town and one that takes you to, like, the beginning of the dungeon. I think. I forget the exact specifications there, but it is definitely... If someone's thinking, oh, that sounds a little bit crusty, yeah, That's Quest 64 for you. I do love a little bit of the good old-fashioned jank. Right. Exit is dungeon, return is to a town. That... Thank you for updating that on me, because, yeah. Forgetful. As we've seen before. Alright, so once we hit this green part of the cave, we're shockingly close to the exit, actually. Pick up this chest. This one last room here is a little bit dangerous at times, in that there's encounters we can end up in here. But we're safe. Happy birthday month to this game. Indeed, we're actually... Okay, so I'm not as safe as I thought. Never mind. This is what I get for saying shit. But yes, round the wheel. Welcome in. This is it. This is how I'm capping off this month of the game turning 27, if I did my math correctly, and it's very possible that I didn't. Yep. With a randomizer that does some fun stuff, and we get some fun visuals for some of these spells, and this hot steam does not want to hit where the shit. Wow. I also got to remember to finish that guide at some point. I'm decently close. So then there will be more text files that people will be able to peruse on my website. For people who like... Well, okay, asterisk, it wouldn't be a literal text file because HTML. But it would be fairly plain text of a guide, not a whole lot of interactive elements, not like videos or anything like that. You know, for people who like stuff like that, I like the extremely old-style web design that is fairly simple. Oh, that's perfectly fine. I ended up starting a new thing that is just sitting over elsewhere, as opposed to being the type of blog that I was running years ago. Part of the reason why I ended up switching over, there were a couple of reasons. One of them is like, oh yeah, because it's attached to a Google account that has my real name on it, so that's something I've increasingly liked less on the internet over the years. Oh right, we actually do have a healing spell here, so we can use that to like darken the screen and be able to see the stuff in the tall grass and stuff a little better. Oh yeah, there was definitely some fun stuff out there. You got me to give a little more of a chance. Operation Logic Bomb is pretty cool. I don't know if I ever told you, but a couple of years ago, I picked up a cart of that, actually. Like, I saw one on eBay for what probably was like $20-some. And it has, well, it has part of the box with it. It's in like a plastic rental case that somebody cut off half of the box to use as the like insert cover for it. It also has the manual too. I mean, the manual's a little beat up. Like, it looks like somebody spilled something on it at some point, and so there's a couple of bits of the cover that have been taken off. But I mean, still, getting a game from that era with a manual on eBay in the 2020s for like, again, less than 30 bucks. That's not even heard of anymore these days. Retro game prices have gotten completely bonkers. I guess a little bit. There's definitely some more they could have done with Operation Logic Bomb, but maybe I'm also saying that because it's like, it's real short. Oh, this guy also has green wings for me, which is funny because now I got two people who are giving me the item to come back to this town. So I really don't need to ever do that. Funny stuff, Randomizer. Fun where that happens. But yeah, We Can't Dance is a pretty good Genesis album. There's a couple of things on there that I don't know that I always gave the fairest shot before. But recently, I don't know what qualifies as recently in this case, because it was however long ago. Re-listened very specifically to the song Driving the Last Spike. That one's pretty good. I mean, a lot of the album is real good, but it's like, oh, why did I pass this one up before? Was my brain just like, it's 10 minutes, but it sounds like it's not that many, you know, whatever. What the hell is I doing that? Maybe I was too much of a snob before or something. Either way, we're coming in here. We're going to save. Because then if we die, at least we end up back here. And there is a chance we could die. I mean, I don't know what the boss is going to be at the end of this forest. It could be a guy who will take, like, no damage from anything we have. There's a couple of those. And also, I'm not completely sure what a lot of the enemy spells look like in this area. Yes, the bosses are randomized. And there are some settings that you can set to affect how their elements are. Like, I think it's set for me that it shouldn't randomize, but I have had some instances before where that glitches out, very specifically with one boss later in the game. And that would be Guilty. When he gets randomized into a location, Guilty is one of the only bosses who gets shuffled in who has a non-standard element. He is, it's often referred to either as dark element or non-elemental. Either way, he resists all your shit. Also, these guys have a wild amount of HP. I don't know why the enemy's stats are not randomized here, but for some reason, i.e., I think probably because of the dragons do have actually more health. Did I say it was the absolute most? I may have, but I was incorrect to make that assertion if so. But they've got like 198 or something. The dragon has 310. But there is a big thing about the wyverns that makes them a lot easier, which is the fact that they are wind element, which means that they are weak to our earth element spells. And of course, I ended up rolling such that my healing spell is on earth, so I was just like, okay, I will just go right into that. Meanwhile, these guys are earth elemental, so I'm fighting a bit of an uphill battle there. So it's kind of like they have more HP than the dragons, but they don't literally. Anyway, what I was saying, that other guy, if he ends up as the boss, like, anywhere, his neutrality does not seem to get randomized away, from what I remember. Due to, I guess, a programming error is the simplest way I can put it. A little bit of jank even in the randomizer. So... So yeah, if we end up facing Guilty, he's got every possibility of... Oh, I think the arachnoids are safe to stand by then. He's got every possibility of just resisting anything we could throw at him. And that would be fucking miserable. Oh, shit, that actually does hurt still. That's... Yeah, it's doing good work on the bugs. Unfortunately, I cannot stand next to those dudes because their magma ball has been changed into ice wall, I believe. Visuals aside. Oh, hey, there's the... Is that the water jewel? Yeah, just confirm that I saw that correctly. Yeah, so, like I said, this is part of the water domain as well. So, that's nice. Yeah, no, I was going back for it. I just was like, isn't there something in the back room? And there was. It's not what I thought it was at first, but it's still, yeah, pretty useful. Okay, yeah, I knew there was another one over here and I missed it. Oh yeah, he got frozen pretty good. Now we got a pig man, we got a pumpkin man. Yeah, he's using those regular. Did I miss a chest behind the building? I can go back for that. Oh, hello, magic barrier. He's using hot steam level 1, right? I think that basically confirms that fire is kind of where we need to go. Level 2. Oh god, so it's going to be forever until I get that, which... It's magic barrier. I think that's entirely reasonable. But it still is kind of communicating to me that, hey, fire is probably the way to go next. Chest behind the building, you said? I do not recall having picked that up. Ooh, yeah, and this little alcove here. I gotcha. That's quite easy to miss because the camera angle did not be a big fan of that. Oh, well, if it isn't you... That is a weird-looking animation that I think is probably like Rolling Rock or something. I have seen the Lamia enemy like all of once in my entire time playing this game. And we just obliterated it entirely. But our damage is pretty high at this point, so what's to be expected? Oh, hey, it's Mr. Big Shoulders. Yeah, normally she's a lot more of a problem. Alright, Fargo, did you choose to... Okay, well, you were too far away from me to hit you with that. So, alright, champ, are you... Well, I guess I'll find out when I actually manage to land the sight effect on you. Okay, so the elements appear to have not gotten randomized, so I guess that's the setting that I had for this one, and I had forgotten by the time I started playing, because my brain works real good. That's quite helpful because, yeah, while we're rocking this earth element damage, that's pretty good. And he dropped a blue wings, I think. Yeah. This is definitely a place where it's like, hey, yeah. Thank you, game, for making it very easy for me. I completely ran out of words that were halfway usable, but yeah, he got absolutely obliterated. And if the elements are unrandomized, well, that does mean that whenever the big red demon guy shows up, he probably won't be too much of a pain in the ass. Yes, the bosses boost max HP when you kill them. Otherwise, raising your HP is usually done by either taking hits or hitting things with your big staff. This game has a kind of interesting, overall, like, stat system to it as well, where it's very FF2 in a way, if I'm remembering my FF2 correctly, where it's like, hey, yeah, get wailed on, and this will do good things for your HP and for your defense. Again, not a bad idea. If only this game was quite as... If only this game wasn't quite as roughshod as it was. There's some thought that goes into this. Anyhow, I'm not sure that I will actually finish the Blue Cave today, but I can at least start on it. You know, just gotta make sure that I give everybody a 3-hour... 3 hours of VOD. Yeah, start hitting yourself. That sounds like the strategy for FF2. We legitimately don't have to talk to this NPC in order to lower the water level, right? Yeah, so that unfloods the lower level of the town. Somehow. I don't even remember if that's well explained, but why the heck not? Truth be told, I don't even know that we have to go explore that area, do we? Hold on a sec, I'm pulling up the Randomizer's manual, because it tells me a little bit about some of that stuff. As I find the map here, yeah. Okay, so... Truth be told... Yeah, I caught that, like, right as you said something, Jack, but thank you for pointing that out to me. It's a matter of, like, do I want the stuff, or what? Because there's not going to be any story progression item in that area. But I do kind of like stuff. So, I think it might be worth it. And then also I'll actually have some levels coming up for when we enter the next area. Things, I mean, yeah, things are pretty alright too. I get all three of the ones down here. I stopped counting because I did that. I did. Stopped counting. One part of my brain switched off slightly. You know, it's like somebody held up near the inn's other entrance. Okay, right. Now I remember. It's like, did I go over there or not? But I guess it's like somebody held a magnet up to my brain real quick. Metaphorically, and I just... Well, that's it. I don't remember anything. Brain just kind of did like Homer Simpson's brain. That's it, I'm getting out of here. It just disappears. Just don't hit me on the way. Yes. So I'm sure you can tell why this place is called the Blue Cave, and the answer is because it's extremely green on the floor, actually. You don't want to know what I think. Now look sad and say dough. Ah, classic. Oh, is it possibly based on somewhere real? I guess that makes sense because we are going to come out the other end and end up in the Isle of Skye, which I know that's a real place off the coast of Scotland. Ian Anderson from Jethro Tull lives there, or lived there at one point. So... yeah, interesting little story, I suppose. I guess that'd make a lot more sense, right? Just in a case like this. For it to at least be based on somewhere real. Can you still stand on one leg while playing the flute? I don't know. Because I haven't seen any, like, recent concert footage of him. You're a kid wizard, not a beard attached to a human with an axe. That's a good question, Mega Man. I'm going to assume that it's mostly just because the developers were like, hey, an RPG that leaned very heavily on magic would be very cool. To which I basically would say, so an RPG, right? Which is probably overdoing it a little bit, but I mean, usually in a lot of these games, you do kind of want to use magic more. Where the amount of MP you have will permit. Because, as we all know, because I basically mention it literally every time it comes up in an RPG, a lot of those games really do not like giving you items to recover your MP. Like, wow! Don't use that ether, sell it on eBay, because apparently there's only 2 of them in the entire galaxy. Games have definitely gotten better about that. Yeah, Chrono Trigger is definitely, like, kind of the opposite of that in a lot of ways. It also just feels super duper easy to shore up huge amounts of items in Chrono Trigger in general. Especially if you know what all the best steal options are. You know, if you know where to ply your trade a little bit, it's like, hey, I do love having 99 mega elixirs. Yeah, that's definitely true. And very frequently in Chrono Trigger, it's like you have a decent amount of a couple of combo attacks that you just know work really well. Like Ice Water in the run-up to Magus's Castle and Magus's Castle as well. Actually, I learned that one from you. I hadn't even thought about it before. It's just like, oh, actually, this works really good. In a lot of circumstances past that point, Falcon Hit will just sort of land on everything and obliterate them. Yeah. And even if you're not doing combos, you've got enough characters that have great area of effect attacks after a fairly short period. Honestly, what I like doing in Chrono Trigger, and I don't know if I showed this off when I played that game, because last time I played that was probably like 4 years ago at least, is I love to just give Robo like all of the magic tabs. And then he just becomes, hey, I can do everything for you. What do you need this turn? Do you need healing, or do you need me to roast everything with shock? Yeah, it's like, hey, they give him this really good toolkit, and they give him this very specific one weakness, but, oh yeah, you can fix that with decent ease. Yeah, his speed is like... His base speed, I think, is the lowest of the party? Or at least pretty darn close. Like, what, 6 or something? But yeah, in a case like that, it's bring in Marl for haste, or feed him magic tabs. Speed tabs. I mean, I know at this point it's like, it's sounding like Robo hard carry the game, but... Actually, if it works, well... Yeah, pretty much, Jack. It's... Chrono Trigger is definitely not, like, super difficult. It is notably less challenging than, well, most of Square Enix's... I shouldn't say Square Enix, because they weren't Square Enix at the time. I apologize. Most of Squaresoft's fare from that period of time. Chrono Trigger probably is the easiest. I haven't played 6 in a while, so I can't speak on that so much. But definitely FF4 was harder. And the acid tab bit was quite funny, but I was too busy talking about other things, so... Here's my belated acknowledgement. Let me think about this. I don't think I've ever played Secret of Mana all the way through, so I can't completely say about that. Secret of Evermore? Yeah, Secret of Evermore, even with the glitches. Is not as easy of a game. Secret of Evermore is also definitely one that lends itself a little bit more to grinding, I'd say. But also, like, Secret of Evermore is... In particular, I think of when you land in... I think it's called Crustacea. The point basically right when you learn Crush... After you get blown out of the volcano like it's Star Tropics. It's very easy to just hang out over there and be like, okay, yeah, I'm just gonna go farm Crush, like, forever. And also, being that you have alchemy for your magic and you spend reagents to do stuff as opposed to just MP, which is a significantly more renewable resource, at least on paper. it is one of those games that does kind of immediately put you into the mindset to go, yeah, hey, I really, really need to spend time just fighting everything that moves. Yeah, see, here's where I'm going to use a healing item, because it'll get me there a lot faster than anything else. But yeah, absolutely, I mean... Oh god, yeah, this looks like... This definitely looks like, well... If I wanted to make fun of how stuff looked on the N64, I think it would probably be this, except there'd be more fog and like a third the draw distance. Yeah, definitely never take any of my times when I say I like this game as being like, this game is without flaw, because it's got some flaws, that's for sure. Yeah, that's definitely true. There's a lot of perfectly nice looking 2D games for the Nintendo 64. Or mostly 2D games. Big one that I think of is Mischief Makers. I mean, Mischief Makers is not totally 2D, obviously. There's a non-zero amount of models in there, but they're fairly small and simple. Whereas you look at this, and this is just like... So... I mean, I guess that a lot of the textures will look very similar in a lot of N64 games, but I kind of think of some of the more, like, low-res, blurry stuff from Mario 64, like the dirt textures in Bob-omb Battlefield. And by dirt textures, I mean where it's, like, the reddish-brown and the you know, like in the gutter where the big cannonballs go to after they come off the mountain. I think that's what... Wow, I don't remember a whole lot of Mario 64 as well as I think I do. But, yeah, there's like a couple of textures in there. This kind of looks like that, but blue and green. I hope it's just a week break. I don't know how long of a break it is, but he is taking a break. I'm sincerely hoping that he comes back next week. Because... Lord knows I miss him, and also, let me tell you, him having morning streams really helped me keep a regular schedule, which I am so bad at, like, waking up in the morning. Anyway, I believe this big open room has one of those funny-looking things for us to pick up. If I'm not mistaken, which, actually, come to think of it, I probably am. Wouldn't be the first time, though. And sure as fuck ain't gonna be the last. Alright. Yeah, so I'm not confident as to what this spell the Scorpion is trying to use on me is, but it doesn't work, so I'm quite content with that. I'm just gonna pull up the maps real quick, this region. Because I suck at finding my way around here. Hold on. Okay, yeah, so that's where the arrow sign is. It's not a smart move. That's my bad. See how easy it is to get lost in this place? Like, everything looks the same. It's a bit of an issue, and I'm doing this. I have a map open now, and I'm feeling like, where the fuck am I? Alright, so this thing doesn't do 30 damage, so we can slowly heal up a little bit. Get into a position where I can... Well, it doesn't really matter so much what needs to be seen here, because I'm not at the location where I need to see it. Which, what a great thing to describe, right? Aren't you all so happy to hear that? Ooh, I think we got Power Staff. Anyway, I guess if there is anything to see right now, it's the fact that this spell that the Mimic is using just does not work on me. So I don't know what it is. I know what the base spell is, it's Walking Water, but... Okay, so I got really confused even reading the map, because the map that I have is a little bit bare bones. You have chosen Power Staff. Thank you. Yep, there it is. It's one of our staff buffs. I don't know by how much, but 99 damage a hit, that is making me think that that is probably never going to hit jack diddly shit, but aside from that part, probably Power Staff level 2, if I had to guess. Just judging by, like, how much of a multiplier that is compared to our most recent use of a staff. So I guess since these guys' melee spell has no effect on me, I can really just go for this and be like, hey, this is good for my HP stat, actually. Plus, it ends the fights a little faster. When I actually hit, anyway. Okay, so that goes that way. Going to believe that this is, I think. Yes, because we want to go this way, and we want to go check the other side, I think, for a chest. Boy, this encounter rate is starting to feel pretty vanilla. I'm pretty sure I had it dialed back a little bit because, yeah, this game does have quite the encounter rate. You fight a lot of enemies. Okay, no, this is the wrong direction to go in from the... Where is the thing that I need to get to? Ah, what am I doing? Sorry. I am doing a slight bit of multitasking here because, yeah. Okay, I think I see what's going on here. Problem is just that I'm a little bit of a complete goofball here. Alright, getting close to this guy and give him a couple of bonks. There we go, that's the chest I was looking for. And it had a better item in it than it does in vanilla. Incredible. let's go into full buffs here, and... Ah! Fuck! I don't have an... There's no item in this that just gives me a free escape. Shh. Well, I guess I'll burn a slice of bread. Because at this point, that fight is really, really crummy. Yeah, taking 30 damage from that attack, that's a little bit not great. Yeah, it was pretty close to that, but I really didn't want to die. Just, yeah. Most of the problem here, in terms of anything to do with my defense, is just the fact that I'm fighting enemies that are, like, that gross. But yeah, I probably could stand to have it be a little bit higher. But having enemies with attacks like that is kind of... Because that damage ratio, that has to be Large Cutter, right? And the graphics, I mean... By the way, very funny that I ended up just using the item that I had come back there to get in the first place. Just kind of feels like absolute cinema at that point. Not necessarily good absolute cinema, but... I mean... Wait a sec, I actually can... Crash? Yeah, no, that language is not... The wording is not making sense for me, so go ahead. It's gonna be something else dumb, isn't it, instead? Because, yeah, it's homing error level 1, and whatever is... It's Rolling Rock level 2. With the bright green graphics. What? That's weird, because... Surely Rolling Rock level 2 in vanilla is not like that. I guess the palettes are randomized. Yeah, no, never mind. I'm having a bit of an idiot moment there. But also, it mostly just kind of already looks like that. I guess because it doesn't draw a big, like, death cube. That probably also has an effect. Okay, good. I just had to make sure that those arrows were facing the right way, because after that long of just mashing A through that encounter, because everything in this cave is free if you can get close to it, basically. Except for the multi-optics, who have suddenly become the most dangerous thing in the cave, which is like the exact opposite of Blue Cave in vanilla. Yeah, no, let me reanalyze this a little bit. It might help to hit, but... I mean, I guess it sort of makes sense a little bit. But again, I think the thing that's going to throw me off there in terms of figuring that out is, like... There's no rock being drawn, obviously, because, well... That is tied to a different slot in the proceedings here. Like, that summons the appropriate cubes for what I believe is copying Windcutter 2 on there, but also having red visuals, so it's like, oh, are you sure that's not fireballs? Right, yeah, sometimes my brain just switches off, because I think maybe a lot of the palette shuffling has just felt really, really underwhelming this time. Yeah, 280 base power for that is not bad. It's just a shame that I'm pretty sure that, like, Avalanche is more for a single rock. And it's just, like, kind of really hilariously, grotesquely overpowered. This game doesn't have any sense of balance. Who knew? Wearing a bisexual flag for a cape. He definitely is, yeah, because I actually set the main cape and staff colors so that way they'd be purple. But yeah, that definitely does look like that. You are correct. He is definitely... I mean, hey, it's Pride Month too, so he gets to celebrate. I'm sure this kid would not judge anything. Yeah, I was gonna say, he probably also may not know what that is, but let's not necessarily speculate on that. And ultimately, this is one of those things that's recovering a lot of its popularity thanks to various social media and stuff like that. You know, it's sort of like... Oh, it doesn't shrink me? Boo! Like, definitely, there's been a lot of people who are, like, big memers who are the people who really like Quest 64. See a lot of that on Blue Sky and on the website before that, too, I'm pretty sure. Although, my memory of things on that website. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Quest64 official.bsky.social, who is being very positive about it. I've seen him manage to loop in a lot of other people to give it a shot and go, hey, this doesn't suck. He doesn't return to size unless it wears off in battle first. That's interesting. So, yeah, ultimately what I'm saying here is that, like, the idea feels perfectly like a normal progression, right? Of, like, this could be not even a joke. Blue Sky, the website where all the freaks and weirdos, parentheses, affectionate, hang out. Despite a lot of people's best efforts to try to change that. Yeah, no, it was Windwalk was what that spell actually is. I think it's kind of a shame that we can't have Micro Brian. Yeah, exactly. I think I was about to actually just straight up mention the ooze if I hadn't. That, you know, I think that every sort of, like, every game that is kind of, like, mid, which sounds really rude when I say it. I don't mean it in that much of an insulting way. Every game like that and like this kind of needs some sort of, like, one person on the internet who will defend it to the death, right? I mean, I think everybody should also just become a freak about one very mid piece of media. It keeps you human. But yeah. Just think about all the stuff that truly does not want for fans, and then it's like, hey, just so great to see somebody look at something like this and take up the mantle. It's like that one direct-to-VHS movie that your parents bought for you as a kid and you made a big part of your personality. Oh, that absolutely. Lemmings is... Well, first of all, Lemmings is a fantastic game. I'm sure that nobody needs me to tell them that, and anybody who's seen me stream it will know how I feel about it. I.e., very positive, even when it kicks my ass, but... that's more like a custom level pack thing, though, and a couple of the oddballs that were thrown into Lemmings Redux that I had never seen before. Outside... Asterisk, never played before, because I had seen them before when you played them, but I didn't remember them necessarily. Those did kind of give me a bit of a runaround, if I recall correctly, but hey, I enjoy the challenge. Usually. With, like, one level being the exception, but digress. But unfortunately, yes, as much as Lemmings is a well-beloved gaming elder statesman, if you will, it has kind of fallen a little bit by the wayside in some regards because it's not exactly the type of game that I think is a lot of people's bag anymore. And I think that's sad. I would like to see more of that be a thing. It's alright, I guess be careful what you wish for when it comes to wanting more Lemmings. Because I have heard about some of those more mobile-oriented versions. Those are design choices on behalf of the owner of the IP. Welcome to hell. Video games are in a state. Right, didn't they have like a... I think somebody was on your Discord was citing their experiences with something that was like mobile oriented. And it was kind of like some of the levels were not even necessarily that they were probably randomly generated almost, and some of them definitely looked like they required microtransactions to beat. You know, really taking the Candy Crush approach to it, which absolutely disgusting. Just sad to see where something that is a game with that much of an important legacy, really, be very, very, you know, done dirty by the people who own it. Yeah, see, I'm not going to say that I don't get it, because if you feel some sort of happiness while you're playing through it, but the design is still very bad, from what I've been able to see out of it. It's just very, very greed-oriented. And unfortunately, the video games industry is so full of greed that there's not truly much more that I can say other than that's how it's gone, and it makes me a little bit sad. Oh, so there's our other heal, by the way, is on that one. It's a weaker heal, though, so I'd rather use the rock one, but neat. We got healing level 2 earlier on than healing level 1. That's kind of helpful, actually. And that, I think, also is part of why, like, all of those games of this era that are kind of just, like, not gonna be considered award winners anytime soon. Because I keep just finding really horribly mean descriptions here, but any of this stuff really needs defenders, because games like this, sure, Quest 64 is jank as fuck, and I've spent so long in this cave. But this is from more of an honest time, you know? And to call that era of game development honest definitely feels a little bit like a boiling hot take, because, oh boy, the game industry has kind of always been the game industry. We found healing level 1 on Power Staff level 1. But for me to say that this was a more honest era of game development, that really tells you about what the present feels like. That's weird. Yeah, there it is. It's on Fire Earth. I was gonna say, did I, like, cite the wrong spell or something? But yeah, no, that's Power Staff level 1. Unless the game has somehow, like, changed its entire code since I last looked at anything in it. Huh, that's weird. Maybe it added, like, extra heal spells or something for... But it shouldn't be throwing anything in there to replace Soul Searcher, even though... with that being a thing that I have applied to every spell... I was gonna say, I think those are still in there. Even though they're kind of useless. So, yeah, I don't know. Did I have an extra heal spells checked or something? Because now I realize I do not remember all of my settings for this, other than the basics of Lost Keys. Right, yeah, I do remember where the normal level for it is, though, so... Yeah, huh. Well, alright then. It's always really helpful when I don't remember my own settings for the randomizer. At least I remember how it goes more or less for Metroid Prime. So, when we get back to that next week, and I'm hopefully actually on hardware like I want to be with that, just... for reasons of clearing up a little bit of lag in a couple of locations. Which, yeah, a big part of any of my reasoning and opinion on preferring to use hardware, other than collectionism, is really just matters of, like, clearing up little imperfections. Like, again, the save screen on this tends to lag pretty heavily while I'm on emulator. And in Metroid Prime, we've had some lag on the map screens. So, like, just having stuff like that be a little bit cleaned up is nice. But I'm certainly not going to begrudge anybody who wants to go strictly to emulator, especially when they've got good stuff working for them. There's still a couple of consoles where the status of emulation is still kind of a mess. Like, I'm pretty sure the Saturn is still in kind of a bad shape with that. There is a team that's working on a new Saturn emulator, as far as I know. Assuming they haven't suddenly decided to quit. Yeah, no, Magnet Rock is actually the large cutter. Pardon me. Whatever I was saying earlier about that. That's stupid. I should have figured that out quicker. Yeah. Semi-new Saturn emulator. By semi-new, I mean, like, if I know about it, it's old news. Called Emir, I believe, is currently being worked on. Which is great because, yeah, I would love to see Saturn emulation improve. The Saturn is a pretty interesting console, and I understand why things are a little bit messy when it comes to the emulation, but it does make me kind of sad. So hopefully that project goes well. If I recall correctly, aren't there still some problems with, like, original Xbox emulation? Or at least one of the Xbox family of consoles. I don't remember which one offhand. Obviously not as severe as the Saturn. Like, I'm pretty sure that they also didn't have quite as weird of architecture in general for a lot of that stuff. The Saturn just generally does a lot of things that are very odd because a lot of the rules, as it were not established. Like, its 3D graphics are accomplished by putting together quadrilateral shapes instead of triangles, which are the main polygons that every 3D model uses nowadays. Is it's just like masses of triangles. But Saturn stuff was far enough back that they were like, okay, we're gonna do quads instead. You think OG Xbox emulation is at least decent because you've considered playing some games from it? That's entirely fair. I don't 100% know. I think I remembered looking at it a while ago and I forget what for. I would love to play Jet Set Radio Future on this channel, but I know for a fact that that is not going to fly with, like, any of the you know, copyright related shit. Because, yeah, there's some licensed music in there. It's unfortunately not all Hideki Naganuma's soundtrack. And that'd be a bit of a problem. James Bond, Agent Under Fire, and Azuric, Rise of Parathia. I don't think I know what Azuric is offhand. I'm trying to go, like, have I heard that title before, or am I just thinking of something that sounds similar? It wasn't good. Ah, I get you. Yeah, I'm just still trying to place if I know what that is. I haven't played it, that's for sure, but it's in one of those weird positions where it's like, yes, I know that name, but also I kind of don't. I kind of missed out on a lot of stuff for the original Xbox. And for every Xbox console afterwards, unfortunately, but Yeah, finally things change a little bit, huh? Alright, we'll go ahead and... Oh, we don't get a save here. I think it's on the pirate ship, then. Oh, whoops. Make sure we go back and get that. That would be quite helpful. Yeah, there's nothing else in here. We finally have managed to emerge from that cave. Oh, okay. Then... Yeah, I forgot that it was with the bird. I think there's a thing we can get here in the ship. Oh yeah, there's a treasure chest. It's not what I was thinking of before, but hey, we'll take that. Which one do I talk to? You? There we go. Alright. And that will do for today. Next time we will try to complete this and probably succeed.